And this time, Peter gets it right. It's all right on the night at the Alexandra Palace.
Did you think at that point, if you go back and watch the YouTube footage of you playing at Lakeside,
Yeah.
looking like a waiter at Bella Italia, did you think, I can be one of the best in the world?
I could have been potentially, challenging Phil Taylor if I'd carried on. Won the singles on a Friday night. It was like £1,000, something like that, and I left on Monday morning with 40 quid in my pocket. So Bristow's got the throw, he goes up 180, turns around to Merv right in his face, and both noses are touching. He went, have some of that. I always said I wanted to be different from all these other guys, because 9 times out of 10 they're all pretty much the same. Yeah, sorry guys, you're boring.
If it wasn't for that run to the world final the first time, we wouldn't have two-time world champion Peter Wright. Do you think it's literally all up there?
What? I've tried everything.
Can we have a Dart Show exclusive? Dimitri Vandenberg nearly shot my cat with a bow and arrow. Did that happen?
And we both looked at each other and went, oh my God, that was close. It's only one snakebite, hey.
Hello and welcome to the Dart Show. It is another episode, an extended chat with one of the icons of the game, a player that I personally rate as highly as pretty much any to have thrown a dart in history. It is the two-time world champion, Mr. Peter Snakebite Wright. Peter, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for that comment. I like that.
Well, you know what? Let's get straight in with that, because the idea of being a top dart player and a world champion, that's what everybody aims for when they start playing. But you've done that. You've done it twice. So all there is for you is to be, well, where would how good could I want to be one of the greats? I mean, do you think you've already done that?
No, I don't think so at the moment. No, I think there's loads more to come, to be honest. It's just like, I don't know. With these other darts, I feel like starting again, fresh.
It's taken about 30 seconds and it's on to a different set. These new darts. It's not the darts, is it, Peter? It's never the darts.
Well, that's not the arm.
It is the arm is the thing.
It could be. But no, I just feel I got a new buzz. I knew I could do much more.
Well, obviously, you're in your 50s now, and your turn. I wouldn't say that, Peter.
Well, I'm pretty much clear of near enough all the other guys, really. I suppose Johnny, was 48, 49, is he? Something like that.
48, I think.
So he's about the closest. But like, if you look at the end of most tournaments, I've probably got about 15 years extra experience, I suppose.
That's true. But
than them.
Everything sort of happened later in life for you. You weren't a guy you weren't, say, a Michael Smith who's turning up and winning tournaments in PDC darts when they're 20.
Yeah.
I mean, not that the PDC was around
when I was good when I was younger.
Well,
I was very good.
Because I remember
good.
It was your first run at the World Championship where you went to the final. We'll talk in depth about that later on. But I remember George Noble, the PDC ref, saying, "Oh, I remember this. I remember that bloke playing Lakeside. You wouldn't recognise him."
That's good, George.
And I vividly remember saying, "Did you ever reckon back then he could be this good?" And he went, "Oh yeah, I knew he was quality." Did you think at that point, if you go back and watch the YouTube footage of you playing at Lakeside, looking like a waiter at Bella Italia, very, very different.
Yeah.
Nice, neat, dark hair.
Yeah.
Did you think, I can be one of the best in the world?
I suppose not really. I know it was pretty good because I was turning up for George. Oh yeah, I used to win all the local area competitions, the league singles, and finished top of the 180s, the averages and stuff like that at the age of 16, 17, something like that. And George said, "Let's see how good you really are," And he took us to this it was Sydney Arms, I think, in Lewisham, and Roger Nixon's pub, and ended up playing darts for him later on. And it was like a £50 knockout, but it had A-side Essex players, county players from Hertfordshire, Kent, London. They had all them. I turned up and won, and I kept winning them, turned up and winning them and stuff like that against all these, big guys. Andy Fordham was playing in them and all that. So yeah, so I thought it was pretty good, but I didn't think, to go push it any further, to be honest.
So what was going on? How old were you then?
That was 17.
17.
17,
so
18.
you'd got, I remember you've told me many times about when you first got into darts, you just wander around the woods throwing darts at trees.
Yeah, trees, yeah. Just throwing, because I didn't have a dartboard at the time.
I mean, that is...
Bought a set of darts.
That's mad.
Off Deptford Market, big brass set of darts. Yeah.
And just go and throw it at a tree.
Yeah, well, to make a little target on a tree and try and hit that from a certain distance. Yeah.
I mean,
I advise kids not to throw darts at trees. It's not very good.
There we go. Yeah.
do not do that.
Valuable advice from a two-time
Throw it on a door or something like that.
Right.
Your mum's kitchen door or something.
Yeah. I mean, again, I think that's probably bad advice from a two-time world champion. But you got the bug for playing. You're obviously good. But
I was just
what's
watching
going on? You just thought, what's the point? Or...
It was I didn't have obviously sponsorship or anything like that, and I didn't. Obviously, I didn't take it up properly then, so I just sort of walked away from it. Try find work and stuff like that, and then just used to turn up at certain tournaments and go and win them. But it's just I wish I had, because I could have been potentially challenging Phil Taylor if I'd carried on.
Do you...
In my mind, knowing what I've done now, I could have been I could have been up there with him and Dennis Priestley, It's but it's all ifs and buts. It's not a regret, because I've come back and done it. And I've proved to myself, I can do it, and that was it.
So what was going on in your life at that point? Like, what were your priorities? What were you doing? I mean, occasionally you'd turn up and play darts for a bit of a laugh and nick 50 quid off a load of big name players in local comps.
I was playing five nights a week. We had our league darts. It was unreal. Darts was big then. You had so many leagues and so many divisions. It was brilliant.
So it was a massive part of your life. It's just you weren't chasing it as a job or career or anything serious like that.
It's like we used to, with the Super League, we used to play for London. I managed to get in the team and everything, and later on they actually was put me up for, at the end of the Super League match, they would put up a player for money, and then your side would put up a player to play over 1,001, so many legs, and and I got picked. They at that young age and everything, they picked me, and it was crazy. That's a bit of an honour, really, to be put up for a money game.
Yeah, those money races were serious things, weren't they? I remember Alan Warren a little telling me about that. Like that was the big show, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There'd be county or teams playing each other, but then they'd just put up their chosen champion, and there'd be a lot of
a lot of money on
a lot of money on the line,
exactly.
And everybody's piling in. So you're not just playing for yourself; it's for your mates who've lumped on to back you.
Exactly. Yeah.
And did you enjoy that, or was that because that's pressure?
That's pressure. That's pressure. That's like playing. Obviously, lucky enough, I played for my country and managed to win the World Cup twice. That's brilliant. That's that sort of that pressure, because you're not playing for yourself. It's just obviously you're playing for everything else. Yeah, scary.
What were those weekends or days like? Because I mean, it feels like a completely different world, a world away from the sort of glamorous PDC arena darts with 4,000 or 5,000 people watching and TV and all that sort of stuff. This is a holiday camp somewhere.
Yep.
But at that point, that's the pinnacle of the sport with, 300 people or 200 people in a room chucking £5 notes around, cheering on their one guy.
Yeah, exactly. And as you say about the holiday camps, I started going to them. Yeah, I think I won the singles on a Friday night. It was like £1,000, something like that, and I left on Monday morning with 40 quid in my pocket. that wasn't good experience, but yeah, it's all experience. And I played Keith Deller on one of them, and the hockey was all joined completely along the room like that, and he kept walking back and kicking the hockey every time he come past it. Trying all these tricks and everything.
Did he beat him?
Yeah.
There we go. Well, that's the best way of shutting him up, isn't it? Now, we've talked about these a few times, to be fair, but there are many, many tales of your exploits prior to the PDC. One of them that I particularly enjoy is you and Merv, when one of the first times you ran into Mr. Bristow.
Oh, right, yeah.
Over in Belgium?
Yeah, in Antwerp. It was Antwerp Open, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when you used to have pairs. And that was like, I think when that's just the PDC sort of was forming. And obviously you was allowed to play in both at that time. And yeah, we're obviously playing pairs, me and Merv, and we was mucking about throughout the whole tournament. It's like in the first round, we'd like swapping each other's darts. He was using 2 of my darts from one and stuff like that, just seeing what we could score against all these people. We threw Francis Honsler's darts. I scored a ton, Merv scored a ton 40, and he also
in the middle of the tournament.
In the middle of the tournament, yeah.
Can I borrow your darts, Francis? Thank you.
Yeah.
Ton. Merv, I'll go. Ton 40.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you very much. Have your darts back.
Yeah, we was just like, I don't know, we was zoned in, and we was just playing well at the time, both of us.
He's the famously fun-loving Mervyn King.
Yeah, he was awesome then. All he used to do is hit 140s and 180s, and he was brilliant. And yeah, so we ended up playing John Farrell and Eric Bristow. And obviously Merv had just been on TV recently, and Bristow started already. He went to Merv, "Oh, you're that guy who's been on telly once, didn't you?" Or like that. "Think you're good, didn't you?" Like that, and Merv's just like... So anyway, it started off like that. So Bristow's got the throw, he goes up 180, turns around to Merv right in his face, and both noses are touching. He went, "Have some of that." Like that. And Merv just turned around, looked at me and went, "That's not a 180. This is a 180. So he went up, bang, treble 20, bang in the middle. He walked onto the other hockey.
Like, so the board.
So it's like there.
Yeah. So next
a little bit further apart.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he went onto the next board and then threw onto the board we're playing on, to treble 20, and then he walked over to this side and went through from that one and went treble 20.
So he's thrown one from 8 foot and he's thrown 2 from opposite sides about 13 foot away.
Yeah. 180, and he turned around and he went, "Now that's a 180." Like that. And because we had a crowd like watching, they all went mad and everything. Yeah. So the game was like that all the way through. Like Bristow was like, he'd be standing in front of Merv and then standing on his toes as well, like, and going like that and like that, trying to headbutt him and stuff like this. Good old Eric. Wow. Bless him. But yeah, he was doing this throughout the game, and he's, when I'm throwing, he's saying stuff to me, giving it this. Anyway, Merv's left me 24th for the match. So I've gone up just outside, double 5 right in the corner. So Eric says something goes rah, 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 in my ear. Not very nice words.
Yeah, we don't have to repeat exactly what was said, but you can imagine.
Yeah, so he's like, so I just like aimed up, going like that, looked at him and went like that, 777.
Blind 777 to win the match.
Like that, went 777. I didn't even look. Merv's on the floor laughing. I just went, cheers, bye.
That is superb.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, I think we ended up losing in the semi-finals to Alan Warren and Rod Harrington. It was pretty sharp at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Rod Harrington, the Prince of Style. That man could dress. I suppose we should talk about your own style.
Oh dear, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's evolved, hasn't it, Peter? It's come a long way.
Yeah. No, we started off with the blue hair in the Blue Square UK Open.
Mm-hmm. I mean, talk us through the first time. Once you've gone for the look once, you know, changing it slightly. I mean, that's all right. But the first time you do it and go, I'm going to go and play like this. Look
like a Smurf.
Yeah, that's a big old step, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, do you remember coming up with the idea?
Was
it you or was it Joe?
It was down to obviously Naomi.
Your daughter?
Because she was like, obviously she used to colour her hair all the time. So and I was thinking, well, that'd be interesting to do. You know, no other dart players does that sort of thing. I wanted to be different. I always said I wanted to be different from all these other guys because 9 times out of 10 they're all pretty much the same. Yeah, sorry guys, you're boring, but at least we got a brand.
Really have.
And it's we just wanted to be different, and then because it was actually bleached and then dyed. I thought, yeah, I felt good, you know. So, but the following week, I wanted a different colour. Joe said, you can't keep doing that because your hair will just fall out because it'll just break. It just, you know,
just snap off.
Yeah, disintegrate. So, so we found out a way of by doing it by paint now, like the Avatar stuff they use. So that's why, you know, it doesn't really run unless you go out in the rain.
Yeah. Has that ever happened? You've never...
Yeah, it has. Yeah, slightly, yeah.
Where was that?
I can't. It might be one of the Premier League games, but it was like, lucky enough to manage to get it all wiped before it started really running.
Just dribbling down your head.
Yeah, exactly.
Excellent.
So it just stuck. We asked, what was it? It was the year I got in the final, wasn't it? At the Worlds. That I started wearing the silly trousers. We asked Matt Porter, I think. Well, Joe asked Matt Porter if we could do the trousers, and he went no. And it was Barry Hearn that turned around and said, you know, that's different. Let's go with it. And you know, we've stuck with getting away with crazy outfits. So
you see that at that point, it started off as being something that you just thought would be interesting and a bit different. And then quite quickly it sort of goes, this is quite a good little marketing thing for us. But as well as that, there was something else happening there, wasn't there, where it allowed you to become the sort of darts player Peter Wright and not Peter Wright, the former tyre fitter.
The character, what is it, Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type thing. I turn into the dart player, which, I don't know, obviously when we start putting all the hair and everything, you know, it makes me focus, getting ready for my match. It's getting preparation, you know. It's just like, I suppose the other guys, their preparation, jumping in the shower, ironing their top or getting someone to iron it for them and put it on and they're ready. But with me, it's obviously a slower process and, you know, sometimes it looks amazing, sometimes it doesn't. And obviously when it doesn't, it's when I've had a go at it and Joe or Paul's Paul's had a go at it.
That's your father-in-law, right?
Yeah, but he does. He tries his best. He sprays it on like he's spraying a car.
Right. Yeah.
Instead of the style and everything, the way Joe does it. So yeah.
Because I mean, I think it's probably fair to say, away from the stage, you're a relatively shy person. You're not a loud extrovert or anything.
No.
But nobody would know that if they'd only ever seen you play darts on the TV.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit like Gezzy, Gezzy, away from darts, is one of the nicest guys you ever meet. But when he's playing darts, he's up there doing his job and being a professional. People might not like what he does, but that's his way of getting himself prepared and ready and trying to win matches. It's not off-putting. It's just different. MVG does it. Lots of players do it. So but that's my way of me getting ready.
Do you think it's made you a better player then?
I think so. It's somewhere to hide.
Yeah, I'm going to hide being the brightest, most colourful bloke in there. See that bloke bouncing up and down the stage doing little dance? Yeah, I'm hiding there.
It's like when they say, oh, you've sneaked around the back and through the tournament. You managed to get to the final without being noticed. How am I not noticed? Come on, man. Come on, guys.
When you started out in the PDC, I mean, what was the thing that made you come back and give it a go? Because as you said, it wasn't even on your radar really. You played local darts, and then what was the thing that changed where you thought, I should give it a go? I should go and try and do what they're doing. What made you want to do it for a start?
Well, again, I was playing darts. Well, I took up again and playing darts, local leagues, travelling to competitions like Harlow and stuff like that, and winning them, and joining these money leagues and winning them. And so it was like, it was watching the Grand Slam of darts. Me and Joe was watching that, and I was saying to her, I can beat him. Not everybody in it. And
most, though.
Yeah, she said, go on then. If you think you can beat him, why don't you give it a go next year? So, obviously joined. Lucky enough, then you didn't have to have a tour card or anything.
Yeah, you just rocked up and paid your entry fee.
Paid your entry fees and stuff like that as a player, and I had £1,200 in the first year. So
I mean, it must have cost you a lot of money with the travelling and entry fees and everything else.
It was. Yeah, well, obviously, lucky enough, sponsored by Joe and Joe's dad. They said, right, go on then, if you think you can do it. And lucky enough, they've stuck by me, and it's paid off for them, and I'm still paying them back. So.
Yeah. Well, it's a very interesting setup you've got, isn't it? Because despite the fact that you have won several £1 million or earned several £1 million as a darts player.
Okay.
You've just got okay.
See my bank account. Yeah, minus.
That's not how it works for you, is it?
No. The
prize money goes to Snakebite Limited or whatever the hell it is you've set up. You get paid a wage for being a darts player.
Yeah, that's what I enjoy playing darts, so I don't care. I got MVG in my ear, winding me up all the time, going, "Oh, you got no money. You only get £212 a week and all this lot, and you can't buy this, you can't buy that." I said, "I don't want to. I just want to go and turn up, play darts." Joe's given me the chance to go and play darts, and I'm doing something I love, so I'm happy with my wage. So there you go.
You see, I'm fascinated by this because do you think that helps? Do you think you don't have to worry so much about, all you do is just, I'm just a darts player. The only thing I need to worry about is playing darts, how to play my best game. I don't need to worry, everything's taken care of for me.
Yeah.
Like Joe sorts out all the finances, all the practical things. All I need to do is go there, play darts, and I don't have to worry about anything else.
It sounds simple, yeah.
Unfortunately, you've got the best darts players in the world all lining up trying to beat you.
Exactly. Lucky enough, I've got Joe as my manager, obviously my wife, my driver, my hairdresser, my therapist, and she's there for everything. She does all the social media stuff, so I ain't got to look at stupid idiot comments and whatever. Mm-hmm. And she feeds me all the nice stuff. I've had some amazing messages off of people, which thank you guys. And it's she keeps all the bad stuff away, and just that's it. And she deals with everything else. And
to be fair, I have to say, hats off to Jo. She has created arguably the best brand this sport has ever seen, because wherever we go, Germany, Europe, Snakebite wigs are everywhere. Do you make money on everything?
No, I wish we did.
Oh.
No, not at all.
But certainly plenty of darts and shirts and everything else.
Yeah,
and also because of the look and everything else and what you've achieved. But if we go to Qatar or Bahrain or Australia or wherever, any country we go to, and there's a paper article, they're going to pick a photo of probably one of three players right now. Michael van Gerwen as Michael van Gerwen. They might take Michael Smith as the world #1 and world champion.
Yep.
And you. And to be honest, most of the time they'll pick you because most people have never seen a sports person who looks like you,
this is
with
true.
all the getter. And it's just an obvious choice.
Yeah. I got stick for it years ago off obviously the commentators and stuff like that, and they all and all the other people they'd say you should play darts, practice darts instead of dressing up like a clown and doing your hair. All that time you're doing your hair, you could be practicing. But all that time I'd already done my practice, and that's my rest time. So, and even Eric at the time, he said, stop doing all this and just play your darts. And then a couple of years later, he said, brilliant idea. He said, brilliant idea. He said, just carry on playing your darts. You've done it. You've made it.
The thing is, if you go and win games of darts over and over and over again, you can pretty much do anything you want, can't you? Because it turns out you were right to do it that way.
Yeah, exactly. But other players have tried it, dressing up like me and playing against me, and it's always come back and stung them in the backside.
Who's tried that?
Max Hopp.
Did he?
Yeah, he won one of the Europeans. It was in one of the basketball rooms on a second stage, I think it was.
Oh, right.
And his wife had done all his hair up like a Mohican. I think it was green or something like that. And he went up trying to obviously dress like me and obviously, but it didn't work.
Didn't work. There's only
I think someone else tried it as well. It didn't work. It's only one snakebite. Hey.
Right, Peter. Let's talk about your PDC career, because you did give it a go. You made 1,200 quid in your first year, and to be honest, things weren't looking great. You were very, very close to just packing it in, weren't you? If it wasn't for that run to the world final the first time, we wouldn't have two-time world champion Peter Wright.
Yeah, that's true. I was just getting beat like 6-5s, or I think in the beginning it was like first to 9, 5-4s, and I travel all the way to where would we go? Atlanta, 5-0 up against Ronnie Backs. 5-0 up against Adrian Lewis and lose 6-5. I couldn't finish games off. I got nervous on that last leg to finish someone off, and it was just like, and it just done my head in. And I was like, if you look back at some of the beatings I was getting, but I learnt from all the defeats as well, obviously to become a better player. And let's just say we was getting, obviously to 2017, let's just say, we sat down, Paul and Joe, and we said, if you don't do well in this world, unfortunately, we have to call it a day. So all the money had run out. So
that's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or what did it feel like?
It was a lot of pressure. It was like, and I beat people that I hadn't been beaten in before, like Wes Newton. Another one when I was like 5-0 up in the Players' Championships finals or something like that. Well, not in the finals, but the tournament, and lose 6-5, averaging like 109, 110 in the first 5 legs, and then just fall to bits and stuff like that. End up beating him, beating Simon Whitlock and stuff like that, and even Michael Smith at the time he had just beat Taylor, and I played him next game, and we had a cracking game. 4 sets to 3. We both averaged about 104, something like that. So, but as I got to the final, but I wasn't ready to win. I wasn't in my mind, even though I was trying, I still wasn't ready to be world champion.
At what point during that tournament? Because I remember seeing you go through that tournament and playing some incredible stuff, and obviously everybody was talking about you because it's the first time we've seen you have a run at the Worlds, and you're wearing all this clobber, and you're just blowing people's mind. But it was only during that. I think it was after that tournament where you'd revealed, like, I was going to quit.
Yeah, that
was going to be my last tournament if I didn't go on a run.
Yep.
At what point in that tournament did you decide, yeah, I've made this work. I've earned enough from this. I've done enough. I've shown enough to myself and everybody else that this can work. Was it reaching the final, or had you decided before that?
It was just reaching the final, to be honest. Yeah, that was it. And then I think I got picked for Premier League as well, so that helped as well, because that's your guaranteed income. I ended up getting to the final on that one. So so it just went on from there, really, didn't it? So I haven't looked back, really.
Yeah, I mean, in the space of 6 months there, I mean, it's a few $100,000 that you've just pocketed, and all of a sudden things are looking up.
Turn life around completely, yeah.
Do you ever wonder, like, say that close game with Michael Smith that you had at the World Championship, if it had gone the other way,
where
would you be now? What would you be doing?
Don't know. Back to tie fitting, probably. Yeah.
It's mad, isn't it?
I used to enjoy it. Getting
When was the last time you fitted a tyre?
Oh, when I left work.
You haven't done it since. Fair play.
No, I used to really enjoy it. So, but here you go. I used to like going in winter mornings and putting your hands in the dip tank, just so you can feel your fingers, stuff like that.
That sounds horrendous, Peter.
Well, imagine having really frozen cold hands, and you're trying to undo on the nuts, and you slip, and you go and you bash your hand.
I mean, that also sounds horrendous.
That hurts.
Yeah, I bet it does.
So, but if you put your hands in the freezing cold water first, it warms your hands up, so they're not slippery and everything.
You know what?
It's a good idea.
Valuable tip. One I'm never ever going to take. You say it turned your life around. You then became one of the very, very top players. I mean, World Final, Premier League Final, they're two great indications of who the best players in the world are. But there was, I mean, at that point, Taylor's still around. Gary is playing pretty much his best stuff. Van Gerwen is approaching, if not already at, his absolute peak. That is a horrendous scenario to be in, competing against all those guys, and you're still more than holding your own against them.
Yeah, if I took it serious, I think I would do better. But I just like going up there and enjoying myself and upsetting the big players. I used to try to obviously beat them now and again. I don't go out wanting to destroy them all the time. I'm not like that. When someone's playing really bad against me, and I feel sorry for them. I'm not like MVG who'd want to go out and destroy them 10-0. I actually feel sorry for the other player, and it's like, I try and backstage, come on, sort yourself out, play better. I don't have to tell them that, and I do. But yeah, I just like, yeah, when I think I got into the top 4, top 5 earlier on, and I'm thinking, that's obviously when Phil's around, I'm going, well, I've got Gary Anderson, Phil Taylor all around me, MVG, and I'm like bang in the middle of these guys, and I can beat them, when I really try, my head's right and everything, and it's crazy. So.
Would you argue that period there, where you've got pretty much peak Van Gerwen, peak Gary Anderson, Phil's still around, you're playing amazingly, is that the highest standard of darts at the very top?
Yeah, I'd say so.
We've ever seen.
I think so. Yeah. We've sort of dropped off slightly. It's MVG's fault. He's dropped his averages, and everyone else has obviously come up to Michael, including the players, are not part of the elite at the moment. Yeah,
it feels like the strength in depth's got better, but the standard at the very, very top has just dropped a little.
Yeah, exactly. Just look at the, Taylor's averages still stand now. They're just absolutely ridiculous for over them long distances, like 116s, 117s, and everything like that. It's just crazy, and that's why I've tried to mimic his throw and everything, but it doesn't work for me. You've got to find your own throw, and but mine will never be perfect because it's just the action's all wrong and everything like that. But I'm a people watcher. I'll sit back and watch the players and what they do in the back room and stuff like that. I've watched Phil Taylor when I first managed to get into these player rooms and stuff like that, into these tournaments, and what he used to do to people, and what he done, how much he practiced, and what he done to his oppositions. Like, Terry Jenkins was trying to totally ignore him completely when he come in the room, and so to try and keep his concentration and everything, and then end up Taylor's got him talking and everything like that, so he's blown his concentration and everything. So I learned that. I actually learned that, and I actually done it to Phil. He come in one of these tournaments, I don't know, TV tournament, and he like come in, said hello to everyone like that. Ignored me, totally ignored. So he went up practicing. So I went up there's like 3 of us on the board, so I went on the same board he was. He moved, so I went on the board and that, and tapped him on the shoulder. You're not talking to me? He said, yeah, of course I am. I went, gotcha.
I'm interested to talk about Phil, because obviously Phil, I would imagine Phil was one of your heroes in the sport, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Or at least somebody you looked up to.
Yeah, obviously.
But I remember his last ever match play win. Obviously, he played you in the final. You let him walk on first.
Yep.
I
shouldn't have done. I got all.
Well, that's it. Is that an example of you at that point, perhaps not being ruthless enough?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You gave him too much respect. You should have gone out.
Yeah.
And in your words, the words you used a few minutes ago, you should have gone out to absolutely hammer him.
Yeah.
And you kind of just let Phil walk all over you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I learnt from that and went on it. So.
Well, you did, and in one of the most spectacular match play campaigns we've ever. I mean, right up there with some of Phil's best ones.
Yeah.
At Blackpool.
I don't know. It was all right. It was just consistent.
Oh, come on.
It was just consistent. That was all.
Come on. The back-to-back displays in the semis and the final were pretty special, weren't they?
They were all right, but no, you can play better.
Well, okay. Let's put it that look. You're around. I've seen you throw 120 average on the telly. I've seen you throw the highest ever average in a broadcast game of darts, 123.5. 6-0 against Ratajski. Admittedly, it was on a stream, but it's the highest average I've ever seen broadcast. What are the top 3 performances, the things you look back on in your career and go, they're the ones I'm most proud of, or the ones I played best in? They can be individual games, or they can be entire tournaments, if you like. I mean, I would have thought that match play one would be right up there, but maybe not from what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't know. I've had some nice averages. It's like when we played the Crondon League. Me and MVG, I walked off the ball with a 118 average, lost, and he had like 117. Me and Nathan Aspinall, it was 6-5 on the floor tournament.
He had a 9-darter in that game.
He had a nine
well,
darter in that game as well, and it was like both of them were like ridiculous averages. Yeah. Another one, me and Adrian Lewis, 119 in the Premier League. He had like 113 or something like that. It's just and beating MVG just in an exhibition with like 134, something like that. I had that was nice.
I mean, there's standard. I mean, look, as I say, that you throw big numbers, high averages.
Sometimes
seen you do that. We've seen you do it a lot,
and I've thrown 70 odd averages.
Very rarely. But what are the performances you're most proud of? Whether that be campaigns or individual matches.
What I'm proud of, winning the Worlds, knowing, beating the man that stopped me to win many titles. Well, he didn't really stop me winning titles because I had chances to win titles and I didn't take them. So it's my fault I didn't beat him before. Well, but I learnt from them. But that would be probably the main one. Obviously, beating Michael Van Gogh in the final by 7-3 or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. And I played probably pretty decent in that tournament as well. I think I had 105-6 or 104 against Luke Humphreys around.
Yeah, that's about
right.
Right.
Something like that. Or
tell me about Noel Malik, Den.
I had everything under control. Yeah, well, I got these darts, and obviously the points were just a little bit too short, and I used short stems, and in practice with them, I got 3 9-darters within an hour. Yeah, at home with these, I think, and it didn't quite work on the TV, but it did for that last half of the match. You know, people just talk about that leg, but you don't. All the rest of the legs, he was still with me, and I was hitting everything. In the last leg, sudden death, wasn't it? I hit 140, 180 something, and then out, and he was sat. Did he have a dart at the bullseye?
I think he had a dart at the bullseye.
Yeah,
the man from the Philippines who could have stopped you becoming world champion before you even got close.
Exactly. You know, I always done terrible in the first round against most people there. I don't know why. They all just decided to turn up and play nuts.
To complete the sort of fairy tale story of beating Van Gogh and beating him well to become world champion, after he had denied you so many, you kept on running into him. I mean, the obvious one to point to is the Premier League final, where you missed all those darts to win the title. You mentioned about not being ruthless enough against Phil. Was the only thing stopping you a mental thing in beat? It felt like it because it was a major final, you versus Van Gogh, and it didn't matter how well you played. It didn't matter how close you got. Van Gogh would win, and he would keep on winning, and it must have been infuriating for you.
It was, as I say, you just learn from them defeats. It's like when I used to get defeated by Gary Anderson when he was playing absolute brilliant at the time. You know, he'd beat me like 10 times on the trot, but you know, I learnt from every time. It's like I actually had shots before them. Same with Phil Taylor, and you know, and obviously MVG. I'd already had shots. I gave you a chance, so I took, you know, instead of all the negatives going, you know, they beat me again, and I'm no good, useless. I'll bottle it. it's actually right. Take the positive. I gave you a shot, so you're lucky you got a shot. And then you take that and go, right, I'm not going to miss this time.
Is that the way you always think, or have you trained yourself to think like that? Or is that just something that you always do?
To get me past winning in the beginning, like in the early days, from them 6-5s and stuff like that, I actually went, right, this is not the last leg. There's another leg after this I've got to win. This is not the last leg.
Tricking yourself.
Yes, fooling my
These
brain.
aren't match darts, it's just another leg. Oh, they were match darts, I've won.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what managed me to start winning. Just pretending there's another leg.
Do you think it's literally all up there?
I've tried everything. You're trying to think, oh, this is like in the beginning, this is pay your hotel bill, this is for your travel, this get you to the next tournament. Blah blah. You get all things flying through your head and everything. You're going, what shall I say in my interview? What shall I say to you and stuff like this? And that's how I lost the Europeans against Ross Smith.
Too busy thinking about your interview.
I was thinking, I've got an easy semi-final, and I've got Michael Smith in the final who bottles it. So at the time, I'm thinking, and then all of a sudden, I try and put my foot back down to try and get into the game, and he just hit everything, and I couldn't finish him off. And fair play to him, he went and he done fantastic in the tournament, but that was because I took my foot off, thinking it's easy, and then tried to find and found nothing.
You've cemented your position. We started this talking about like where you sit in the greats, and you think you've still got work to do. There's no denying that you've picked up a whole load of big titles, won a load of money. What's been your biggest extravagance since? Because obviously, I realise you're on 212 quid a week or whatever it is. But you are allowed a little bonus every now and again. Tell me about your home cinema room.
Well, yeah, that's just somewhere to go and relax and watch with the kids and that. So because you can go to some of these cinemas and they're just like our local cinema, and it was just like a projector screen that you could, like one of them white ones you just pull down. Mm-hmm. And I'm thinking, we pay money to get in there to sit, watch. Yeah, I'm sure we can do something a little bit better. So yeah, we just designed our own, and it's nice and comfy. And so the kids come over and we'll watch movies together, and it's just better.
How much does it cost you, Pete?
No, it didn't cost me nothing. I think they come out of business. So
how much does it cost the business?
I don't know. I can't say. I can't say.
We're into six figures, aren't we, Pete?
No, I don't know.
I think we are.
I don't know.
Is that your way of relaxing?
Yeah, it's that, or just listening to music.
What type of music?
All sorts. Just all sorts. I'd listen to everything. So
Mongolian throat singing.
Who? If it relaxes me, then yeah.
Actually, I'm sure you were telling me the other day that you.
I do.
You were listening to Scooter with Dimitri Vandenberg.
Yeah, Scooter. Yeah, you got a bit of Scooter. I had the privilege to meet him, and
you've met Scooter.
Yeah, we was
the DJ.
Yeah, we was in playing that Pro-Am thing in Germany, and Barney was playing with Scooter, and I'm going, "You're playing with Scooter, my man." He's going. He
had no idea that he was involved in that.
Yeah, and he actually performed that night as well.
Wow, what a night!
Yeah.
What a night!
I was lucky enough to meet him. I was in awe of him.
In terms of ridiculous Europeans, you had one live with you for a while in Dimitri Vandenberg during the lockdown. I understand that they started shutting the borders during COVID. He couldn't get home. You said, "Come and stay with us, Dimmy." And how long did you think that was going to last for?
I thought maybe a few weeks, month at the most, something like that.
Yeah, it turned into about
3 months, near enough.
3 months, 1 week, and 2 days.
Yeah, and so many hours. Yeah.
Yeah. How was that experience?
Yeah, it was good to have Dimmy there. I think obviously he learnt a lot, and I learnt a lot about Dimmy. You know, I think he's a water baby.
In the
as in amount of water he uses.
Yes,
we've got a 300 litre water tank, and he'd be in the shower for about an hour and use all the water.
Would you have Dimitri to stay for another 3 months?
Not 3 months.
No,
maybe a day or two.
And can we have a Dart Show exclusive? Dimitri Vandenberg nearly shot my cat with a bow and arrow. Did that happen?
Yeah, we was archery outside. We was just bored. It was a lovely day, and so we got the archery set out, and I got a big bale of hay. We put a dartboard on it, and he was aiming up, and it just like clipped the side of the bale of hay, so it took the force out of it,
the power out of it.
Power out of it, and as it's going like that, and then it veered off, and our cat come running past, and it bounced off the top of the back of the cat. And we both looked at each other and went, "Oh my god, that was close!"
I can laugh because the cat is fine.
Yeah, the cat.
But ultimately,
just like
#1 dart player nearly shot your cat.
Yeah, so that's like obviously the length of the arrow. There's the cat. It just like bounced on top of the on the cat. The cat come from nowhere, come and run out of the bush somewhere, and it was like, oh my god! And you couldn't do nothing about it, obviously. But yeah, lucky enough, the cat's okay.
Good. I mean, it's quite the setup you've got back in East Anglia, isn't it? I mean, the massive barn conversion. You're having a swimming pool. You've got your man cave and your home cinema and stuff. I mean, it's very darts has completely, as you said earlier, turned your life around.
Yeah. I got the man cave type thing. So it's more like a bar. So it's because I can't go down to the local bar and everything now, because as soon as I go down there, the dart throw's going to be totally wrong anyway. The ball's going to be absolute rubbish. So the throw's not going to be right.
Look at you! I'm Peter Wright. I used to throw at trees when I was a kid. Yeah. Now that dartboard's not up to my standards.
Yeah, but and if and then the pub would just get packed full of people. Even now, even if you just go out for a meal or Toby's or something like that, people taking secret photos there and taking photos in the airports secretly and stuff like that. If you want a photo, come up and ask. Instead of just doing sneaky things.
But we talked about your brand, and we talked about how popular you are, particularly in places like Germany. And we've also mentioned you're quite a shy person away from the Peter Wright persona. So how do you deal with all that attention, people wanting to talk with you, have a photo, just wanting a piece of you? I mean, it's because it doesn't stop, does it?
Yeah, it's you try to please everybody. You try to sign these things and stuff like that, but you've got them people out there with their folders full of photographs, knowing they're going to sell them on eBay and everything and make money, and doing it illegally. And they don't understand. I can get fined for $4,000 or $1,000 or whatever for that photograph going out, and I have to say, sorry, you didn't take the picture, I can't sign it. So don't do it. Have a picture with me, get it printed, and I'll sign it for you. But you're there to selling it, really. So don't do it. You try and sign things for kids, especially, because obviously they look up to all the dart players, and they could be the future world champion, and you don't want to not sign anything. So we do try and do everything, but it's just like when you go to breakfast sometime, especially in the Europeans. The people have already had their breakfast. You want to go for your breakfast, and Peter, I'll say, can I just have my breakfast, please? You had yours. You had yours. I'm on at mine. Yeah. So yeah, it's a bit annoying sometimes, but it's hard to say no. But sometimes you got to say no.
Well, yeah, I suppose it comes with the territory of being one of the greats of the game, Peter. I'm going to return to that first question I asked.
Okay.
Because look, I quite comfortably put you well inside my top 10 darts players in history.
Number 9.5.
No, higher than that. But where do you put yourself?
See, I don't class myself anywhere near being any the greats. I say, but because I don't take it serious. That's the problem. If I took it serious, then I can go, right, I'm proud of what I've done, but I'm just going out there playing for fun and enjoy myself. And if I win, if I beat MVG, if I beat Gary or beat Michael Smith, whatever, it's a bonus. I'm just going out, and it's just now and again I'll make silly comments that say I'm going to win this tournament and that tournament, because I'll just get myself ready a new challenge instead of just like turning up and seeing if I'm going to win it.
Peter, thank you very much for speaking to us. Best of luck.
Thank you, Dan. Cheers.